It is great to be here with you, and we've known each other a long time. But what a blessing it is, in all seriousness, to be here at Kirkwall, visiting the church, seeing the church. I mean, tremendous congregation, really good things happen. You've been here close on 10 years, and I think you have been blessed in the ministry, haven't you?
Absolutely. It's been stimulating, challenging, very different from being in the city. People would sometimes ask, "How are you getting on in Kirkwall?" As if I've been sent here for being a bad boy or something. And actually, the reality is that the congregation is thriving, stimulating, challenging, and it's a good place to be.
So what's different about being on the island from being down in the central belt?
Well, I think the first and very obvious thing is you can't hide. I would hope as Christians we wouldn't want to, and if we're called to be authentic, salt and light, and to have an integrity with our life and our lifestyle, we shouldn't be wanting to hide. Yeah. But sometimes you maybe do try to. You don't get that option here. As you probably saw when we wandered down the street yesterday, every third, fourth or sixth person knows me and says hi. And so there's a real sense that you've got to be what you are, and you're seen for what you are. Yeah. And therefore that kind of expands out into there being a greater sense of community, which is not mere words. There is a greater sense of community here, and people will see and perceive what's happening in somebody's life or in the life of a congregation. So folks that don't know me well, but when I was here for a couple of years, "Oh, you're the Baptist Kirk. Oh, that looks quite busy when they're coming out in the morning." Mm-hmm. The point being that, well, with great regret and sadness, others sometimes look less busy. Yeah. And so they're observing that, and that's just a simple example. Mm-hmm.
So has that led you to formulating your thinking that there's different forms of mission and ministry strategy for different types of situations?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think in many ways here we want to acknowledge, well, I think anywhere you want to acknowledge that the setting that you're in, and make your faith and the way of life of your congregation effective and relevant to the context that you find yourself in. So here, where there is a sense of community, it would be rather daft for us to do things that are quirky and innovative in a way that might reach out to people, perhaps say in London and the South East, but just wouldn't work here.
Yes.
And so I think the whole issue of being authentic, being real, being a good neighbour, being a friend, being involved in various community activities, as I've had the privilege of being, both from a personal point of view and because of being a minister, has brought me into other areas of community activity. Mm-hmm. And so you build links, and you see from time to time perhaps people coming along or asking you to take a wedding or be involved in some pastoral crisis in their life, or that kind of thing. And so I think being here in that way and intentionally reaching out to those around us is very relevant.
What's your vision for the coming years for the church in Orkney?
Yeah, well, we still have in Orkney a higher than average church going population. Mm-hmm. And as with many things, there's an upside and a downside to that. Mm-hmm. The upside is there is still a sort of kind of sneaking respect for the role of the church in society in some respects. But also that can almost immunise people to think that, well, going to church once or twice a year is enough, when that, if I may say so, it does not typically represent someone who's got a vibrant, living, loving relationship with a life-changing God.
Yes.
So what I would love to see is more growth and development where we are, but also in the other congregations that are essentially evangelical congregations. And with us reaching out to others and continuing to grow, not for our own sake or our own aggrandizement, but for the extension of the kingdom and the establishing of the kingdom.
Don, the Lord give you your heart's desires and bless you in a continued way with your people here in Orkney. Thank you.
Thank you.